Florence on a potty break.
Hold on. Okay, start again. Video 4. Video 4. 5?
Video,
I don't know. Which one?
I think it's video 4 on the Hurricane Florence road trip to New York because our flights were canceled. And we've stopped, say, 4.5 times to charge. Twice on the first day, 2 times on the second day, and then just on a potty break at Panera Bread that happened to have chargers. And then that'll get us to New York, and the whole trip will take us about 21 hours. But we haven't been, we stayed at a hotel and hung out and hit the hot tub. We were in no rush. We stayed and had lunch and dinner at different places, and slept in. And what?
While we charge.
While we charge. And so really it wouldn't have made any difference in the other cars. We would have done similar, except we would have had to stop for gas, but we still would have stayed at the hotels and not driven the entire day because we don't have to be there until today anyway.
And we don't do that anymore. After 40, you don't do those crazy long trips. It's
we
too much.
don't want to do the 24-hour drives, although on Sunday after the fashion show we're going to head back, and that might be an all-nighter. So the questions are...
No, it won't.
No, okay. Mary says we won't.
We're tired. We'll see. It sounds good now. We're fresh this morning, but we'll see. Probably won't sound so good Sunday night.
Well, I'm really anxious to see the damage. We already, the condo is going to be off limits. That's done. We are essentially like homeless, living at the school for weeks/months, depending on when they'll give us access to the island again, and then whatever damage is done. We're on the first floor of the condo, so who knows. And then our rentals, one of them has already gotten some roof damage, and we had a shed that was in the backyard, and the shed apparently is gone.
It had to go anyway, so that was probably a good thing.
And that was before the storm hit, before the hurricane winds actually started. And then let's talk Tesla. What are the questions that everybody always asks with the Tesla?
What happens if you run out of a charge?
What happens when you run out of a charge?
You blow up.
I know that seems like all intelligent questions, and I probably asked the same thing when I was deciding to get the Tesla. But it's the same thing if you're driving a gas or diesel car, engine, whatever, and you run out of fuel. You get stranded. For us, we would call the Tesla number, and somebody would either come and tow it or charge it or whatever they do. That would be the downside or negative. If you like to do road trips and drive straight through and only stop for gas and go to the bathroom, then
this is not the car.
This is not the car, because you have to stop. It takes an hour. Well, we just charged for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it added like 20 miles to the charge. So just depending on how often you want to charge, and I like to max it out when we're traveling, just to be safe. On the screen, if you want to point it to the screen, it gives you where all the superchargers are, and you can hit it and it'll show you all of them. And there's dozens in that area that we're going. And then I have adapters, so we can charge pretty much anywhere. The supercharger is the fastest way to do it. The plug-in for the next fastest way is the same as a dryer. So if you have an extension cord to go to, want to knock on somebody's house and ask to use their electricity, you can plug it into a dryer outlet, and then you can, worst case scenario, just plug it into a regular outlet and charge it that way. That just takes a real long time. You only get about 3 miles of charge for every hour. So you would just want to charge to get enough miles to make it to the next supercharger. But if you plan the trip, then it's not not an issue. Like back in the day when we had maps and you had to plan where you're going to stop and do all that stuff.
It's just like that.
Same thing, except it's GPS and superchargers. So and they're on the main highways. Like we're on a main highway. We pulled off at a Panera Bread to have our little potty break, and there was a charger there, so we charged for 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. And so what's the next Tesla question that we get asked?
That's mainly
That's the main one.
Yeah.
Oh, how many miles can you drive on a charge? Well, if you were going to max it out on this car, it's a couple years old. So we probably maxed out, we have about 265 miles, maybe 270 before you would run out of juice and have to, before battery be dead, you'd have to charge it.
So about 3 to 4 hours of driving and then an hour of charging if you have the superchargers.
Right. So that's the if it's a downside for you, that's the downside of the road trips, is that it takes an hour to at a supercharger to charge up. If you're like got less than say 50 miles left on a charge, then it'll take an hour to get 250 miles on it or so. Or you could just charge until you get to the next station or the next potty break or the next dinner or lunch or whatever, or to the hotel. The first night we just stayed at the hotel that had chargers, so it was not we didn't really have to wait. We were going to the hotel, so we just plugged it in, and that wasn't a big deal. So that would have been no difference if I was driving any other vehicle. So we get how many miles does it go, and what happens if you run out, and where do you charge it, and all that. So we have the 240 outlet at the school. So we just, when we go to work, we just plug it in, and that's how we charge it when we're at home. And then there's superchargers. There's none in Jacksonville, but in Wilmington and Raleigh and Warsaw and where else? Wallace.
So how much do we spend each month on electricity charging it at the school?
We probably spend $10 a month on the power, or the charging the battery. Some people might get up to maybe 25. It really depends on how much you use it. We use it a lot because we live in N Topsail, so it's about a 45-minute drive to work one way.
Wait. We used to live in N Topsail.
Yeah, we used to live in N Topsail. So now it won't really cost anything because we'll be living right where the charger is. So it'll probably cost us $1 a month because we won't be using it that much, except
we'll have to charge it maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks.
I have a friend that's in Florida that has had one for a long time, and he says that his electric bill went up like 50 cents. So it really just depends on how often you charge, and if there's a supercharger by you. That we have lifetime free supercharge, so that's a package you can buy when you buy the Tesla. That's probably going away though. But we have it with this. So as long as we have this car, we can charge it for free at a supercharger,
which is awesome because we do a lot of driving, a lot of traveling, and we spent a lot of money on gas.
A lot of money on gas.
I mean, these aren't cheap cars, but we were lucky and got a used one, and the amount of money that we're saving on gas has definitely made it worthwhile. Not to mention safety and everything else.
Just driving to work every day is saving a whole bunch, especially in some of the cars that we've had like monster trucks and big trucks, and now we have a good car. It gets good gas mileage, but it's not real safe. Mitsubishi Mirage, I get like 40 miles, 44 miles to the gallon. But
it's like a roller skate on wheels, so not safe.
A roller skate on wheels, yeah. What else? That it? All the Tesla questions?
I think that's enough for now.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.